What if I told you that a man who lived 2,400 years ago could change how you think today? A man who never wrote a single book, yet transformed Western civilization forever? His name was Socrates. And in today's video, I'm going to show you why this ancient Greek thinker isn't just some dusty historical figure. He's your guide to thinking better, living wiser, and finding truth in our confusing modern world. I'm Rashid, and if you've ever questioned authority, challenged your own beliefs, or searched for genuine knowledge, you've already been influenced by Socrates without knowing it. Let's discover why Socrates matters more today than ever before. Athens, 470 BCE. The birthplace of democracy is flourishing. Amid this golden age appears a strange barefoot man with bulging eyes and a snub nose, who would become philosophy's founding father. Born to a stonemason and a midwife, Socrates wasn't from the elite. He served as a soldier, fought bravely in battle, and only then turned to philosophy. The story goes that the oracle at Delphi proclaimed Socrates the wisest man in Athens. Confused by this, Socrates set out to disprove it by finding people wiser than himself. He questioned politicians, poets, and craftsmen, only to discover they all claimed to know things they didn't actually understand. Socrates realized the oracle was right, but with a twist. He was wisest precisely because he recognized his own ignorance. This humble admission became the foundation of Western philosophy. But why does this matter to you? Let's find out. The first reason Socrates remains the greatest philosopher is his method of questioning, now known as the Socratic method. Rather than lecturing people with answers, Socrates asked probing questions that expose contradictions in thinking. Through dialogue, he helped people discover truth for themselves. Person 1. We should always tell the truth. Socrates. Always? What if a madman with a weapon asks where your friend is hiding? Person 1. Well, in that case, maybe not. Socrates. So it seems truth-telling sometimes conflicts with protecting others. Let's explore when each value should take precedence. This method revolutionized education and remains vital today. It's used in law schools worldwide. It forms the basis of scientific thinking. It's employed in therapy and counseling. It powers the best business innovations. Every time you ask why or how do we know that's true, you're channeling Socrates. His method teaches us not what to think, but how to think. The second reason Socrates stands above other philosophers is his extraordinary moral courage. When Athens put him on trial for corrupting the youth and impiety, really for questioning authority and tradition, Socrates refused to compromise his principles. He could have apologized, paid a fine, or gone into exile. Instead, he used his trial to demonstrate his philosophical principles one final time. Even facing death, Socrates continued questioning, continued seeking truth. When sentenced to drink poisonous hemlock, he accepted his fate with remarkable calm. This commitment to truth over personal safety makes Socrates more than just a thinker. It makes him a moral hero. In our age of conformity and going along to get along, Socrates reminds us that some principles are worth standing firm on, regardless of consequences. The third reason Socrates remains philosophy's greatest figure is his emphasis on self-knowledge. In an age where we constantly look outward, at others' lives, at endless entertainment, at the next distraction, Socrates calls us to look inward. Know thyself wasn't just a slogan for Socrates, it was the foundation of wisdom. He believed we can't understand the world until we understand ourselves, our biases, our assumptions, our contradictions. Socrates showed that authentic living requires aligning our actions with our values. This practice of self-examination remains revolutionary in our age of personal branding and carefully curated images. The next time you find yourself mindlessly scrolling through social media comparing your life to others, remember Socrates' invitation to turn that attention inward, to know yourself first. The fourth reason Socrates stands as philosophy's greatest figure is his intellectual humility. In a world of hot takes, instant opinions, and confident declarations, Socrates reminds us of the value of saying, "I don't know. Let's figure it out together." Socrates never claimed to have all the answers. His willingness to acknowledge ignorance wasn't weakness. It was the beginning of genuine wisdom. This humility is radical in our polarized times. Imagine social media, where people responded to disagreement with Socratic questions rather than angry defenses. Imagine political debates where candidates could say, "That's a good point. I need to reconsider my position." When we embrace Socratic humility, we listen more carefully to different perspectives, become open to changing our minds, build bridges rather than walls, continue growing intellectually throughout life. The fifth reason Socrates remains philosophy's greatest figure is that his wisdom is intensely practical. Unlike many philosophers who constructed abstract systems, Socrates focused on how to live. For him, philosophy wasn't an academic exercise, it was a daily practice. He asked questions that still matter today. What makes a good life? How should we treat others? What does justice look like in practice? In our consumer culture that constantly tells us happiness comes from having more, Socrates offers a radical alternative. Examine your desires rather than simply fulfilling them. Socratic philosophy isn't abstract. It's about making better choices, forming healthier relationships, and creating a more just society. It's philosophy you can use every day. Socrates' influence extends far beyond his own time. Without him, we wouldn't have Plato or Aristotle, the founders of Western philosophy. The Stoics adopted his emphasis on virtue and self-examination. Renaissance humanists revived his method of questioning. Enlightenment thinkers championed his commitment to reason. His impact continues today through figures like Martin Luther King Jr., who praised Socratic questioning as essential to social progress, and Silicon Valley innovators who employ Socratic dialogue to challenge assumptions. Every time someone challenges conventional wisdom, questions authority, or seeks truth through dialogue, Socrates lives on. So, why does a philosopher from 2,400 years ago matter in our digital, hyper-connected world? Because in an age of information abundance, Socrates teaches us wisdom. In an era of algorithm-driven echo chambers, he reminds us to question our own beliefs first. The challenges we face today, political polarization, ethical questions around technology, the search for meaning in a secular age, all benefit from Socratic thinking. You can bring Socrates into your life by asking, "How do I know this is true?" Before sharing information, engaging genuinely with viewpoints you disagree with, taking time for self-reflection away from screens, practicing intellectual humility when you're most certain. The greatest tribute to Socrates isn't studying his ideas, it's living them. Socrates never wrote a book. He left no formal system of thought. He claimed to know nothing. Yet his questions echo through the centuries, challenging each generation to think more clearly, live more authentically, and seek truth more diligently. In our distracted age, his invitation to stop, question, and examine our lives may be his greatest gift. So what do you think? Is Socrates still relevant today? Which of his ideas resonates most with you? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient wisdom, hit subscribe for more videos on philosophy that matters today. Thanks for watching, and remember, the wisest person might be the one who knows how much they don't know.